Well, hey there, everyone. I have the luck and pleasure to be hanging out with Nate today. You'll be able to see Nate's stuff in the Figma board. We've just got on in here. We'll be getting started. Couple quick updates. This is new that we have work that people have made since the last time we all got together. So let's just take a little swing through the Figma community boards, see what's growing. We see Skylar here. One of the things I think is really fun for us is to be able to kind of share what people have been making, and warts and all. That might be a little different for folks who are coming from an educational environment where you want to share just the finished project. But I think the process is more interesting than the final product, especially at these early days. And it's really cool to show people how you've gone from step one to step, I don't know, whatever it takes, 50 to get things going here. We've got Jared. Jared's a former student of mine who's been through Blender before and is making something really odd, and I absolutely love it. Feel free as you are putting stuff in to throw in your thoughts and where it was coming from and show some of the behind the scenes stuff as well. And then if you want, you can always throw a sticky note on here, change the color, and give people some feedback or love. And then finally, we also have a plugin that's part of the board where you can add voice memos if you so desired. So there's that little look around the board, see what else is coming. Ruby put a lot of this stuff in earlier. Ruby is a creative technologist, and we have been going through some upskilling together as a CTech team for Islands of Brilliance, and we talked about curves. This group won't get into curves and objects until next week. Speaking of, let's take a peek at where we are in this little trajectory. We've got mind-bending abstractions. The first set of tutorials were all about, I think we got here for that first set. And then the second set, we talked about this intricate relationship between 3D cursors and pivot points and snapping and proportional editing. All these things are used kind of as a cluster. Today, we're going to be looking at the outliner, looking at the basics of virtual lights, materials, cameras, and rendering. I'm pretty dang excited about all of it. So without further ado, let's get in. I'm going to open up my Blender file here. This is where we left off. Now you have one of two options, everyone. You could continue with this weird kind of scattered thing. And if you do that, what I recommend is heading up here to File and Save As, and then make sure you just throw on the newest iteration of it. So this is Mach 3, and then I always change the date as well. 10th of August already, people. How in the heck did we get here? Alrighty, next. I just realized that I want to set something up with my mouse pose, so give me 1 second. Keystrokes need to show on that guy. Okay, cool. So with my mouse pose, yeah, that way you can see which buttons I'm hitting when I'm in there. Cool. All right, if you are at the point where you're starting to think about an actual composition, I want to just remind you, this is much more difficult than you'd think. I suggest what we call in the artist community a limited palette. And so what do I mean by that? I mean, use just a couple shapes. In this case, they use mostly cylinders and or spheres. And then they were able to just turn those using the proportional editing. This one is all cylinders. This one is a rectangle with a beveled edge and a cylinder and a sphere. So we haven't covered beveled edges, so we just rectangles and spheres and cylinders for this one. In the next unit, we'll be looking at some of the basics of how to actually sculpt and use some of those other tools. Anyway, so yeah, show your work. I went ahead and with mine, I have this set of drawings that I made a while back that are interesting to me. I was looking at concept art for, I think, Destiny or something like that, and drawing inspiration from it. And I like this one. It's just rectangles. I think I might add rectangles and cylinders, but a couple of them have like a little cleave to it and they're kind of hanging out. And I tried to do something like this in the past and I didn't really love the result. So I'm going to hit it again, do another iteration, but that's kind of where I'm aiming, and you should start seeing some stuff around that.